I'm Daina Mudimbu. I'm with the University of Zimbabwe, Geology Department. Based in Harare, Zimbabwe. And we conduct work within research, but the bulk of what we do is lecturing. We teach university students. And at the present moment, we have a program running that's for Bachelor of Science General, Honours in Geology, and a little bit of work here and there in terms of research for postgraduate students. I lecture within the department, and I'm also doing my DPhil studies at the university.
Great, and so this week you've been presenting on your part of the UPGro research, is that right?
Yes, I've been a member I was a member on the UPGro Catalyst grant project that started in 2013, and this week we're presenting some of the findings, the outcomes of that project. And the project that we were involved with was looking at Malawi and Zimbabwe and the basement complex aquifers and the issues relating to supply. Is there enough water within the basement complex aquifers for development, or is demand going to start exceeding the supply, particularly for rural development in those settings, Malawi and in Zimbabwe? My component was the Zimbabwe side, looking at what analysis was done in Malawi, the tools, the methodology that went into that analysis, and applying it to the Zimbabwe side, looking at a smaller area or smaller areas within Zimbabwe, within the basement complex aquifer, and trying to come up with methods of using existing data to calculate how much water do we have within these settings, and what about the demand side, how many people are there, and when we look forward, are we starting to have issues of demand exceeding that supply, and comparing the results with what was done in Malawi and starting to look towards perhaps testing the analysis and the outcomes and seeing what it is we're saying from a management perspective, water resources, groundwater resources.
Great, and so we've been here a week at this IAH conference. What sorts of things have you learnt about or you can take away from this week?
Being at the conference has been great because a number of previous work done in Zimbabwe has actually been done by others in around about 1980s, 2000, previous studies that were done. And a lot of these previous studies we actually looked at and were considering and looking at the data that came out of those in doing the Zimbabwe analysis. And it's been great meeting with the people who were involved with those previous research studies, what methodologies they used, and looking at the work that they continue to do beyond that. And it's been great in picking out what the others have done within the UPGro projects, similar settings, similar kind of situations, other problems perhaps moving away from rural settings but still within basement complex aquifers. So it's been great in looking at some of the tools, technologies, methods that others have utilized and in different settings or in similar settings, and what they're finding with respect to how we can go forward, particularly not only just the technical side but also moving towards more management issues as well. How can we make what we're finding, these results, how can we make it part of what we do going forward with respect to groundwater resources management? So just meeting the individuals has been great in itself, and then being able to discuss and talk about how possibly going into the future, how we can collaborate, that's been fantastic.
Brilliant, thank you very much.